Hello, Soul Seas. Let's talk real estate. So, we've always been told that real estate is a great way to build wealth, and yet recently we've had two stories in the news about high profile celebrities who've had to sell their real estate at a loss. There was Wendy Williams, she had to sell her New York City apartment at a loss. And now Derek Jeter, who recently unloaded a mansion that he had listed for almost $14 million, he just sold it this month for only $6.3 million. So, what does this all mean? Is real estate no longer a good investment? Not exactly, and let's get into it. So, you want to make your first real estate purchase. It's coming to a lot of money, you want to invest, and you want to make your first real estate purchase. Well, it's important to remove emotions when making a real estate purchase. And here's why. Buying a home based on emotions could result in you having difficulty selling it later on. So let me tell you the story of Derek Jeter, the one-time Prince of New York, and the castle he bought in Greenwood Lake, New York. For those of you who don't know, Derek Jeter was once hottest baseball player ever. He played for the New York Yankees since he was 18 years old, very good looking, and he was the most eligible New York bachelor. Back in 2018, Derek purchases a mansion in Greenwood Lake, New York. Well, this mansion is not just any ordinary mansion. This mansion literally looks like a castle. And so, in fact, when it was originally built in 1918, around that time, it was built by a doctor who built it for his wife, Franny. And he's German, and apparently he got architects from Germany to come and build this castle because he wanted to build a castle that reminded him of, I guess, life and times in Germany. So his doctor built this castle. It's on 4 acres of land. It has a guest house, a main house. I mean, it's beautiful. It's right on the lake. And then the husband dies, and the wife, I guess, couldn't afford it. She probably didn't work, or they had probate issues. And so the house goes into what I guess is foreclosure. And this family called the Tiedemann family purchases the house from the original owners, from Fanny the widow. Then, as the story goes, the Tiedemans end up adopting a young man called William Connor, known as Sonny. His parents died and they adopt him, and they sort of not adopt him probably in the legal sense of the word, but took him in because he had no parents. And then this child, Sonny, gets married to one of the Tiedeman's cousins. That child, they have a baby. Daughter marries Derek Jeter's dad. And Derek Jeter is now connected to this castle in New York. So, of course, when Derek now, who's playing baseball in New York, and he is, dating Mariah Carey. I mean, basically, Derek Jeter, for those of you who don't know, he dated everybody. The list is so long on the amount of women that Derek Jeter dated, and it was forever like, who's gonna get this bachelor? He was like a consummate bachelor. He was just having a great time, and Mariah Carey even wrote 2 songs about him. She confesses this all in her book, The Memoir of Mimi, I think it's called, but she talks about the 2 songs she wrote for Derek Jeter, and Derek Jeter was like how she cheated on her husband, Tommy Mottola, with Derek Jeter, but maybe not totally cheat, but sort of had this one night of passion on a rooftop, and there's the song The Rooftop that she wrote about that one night. Of course, Mariah said she was totally innocent, and I totally believe her because I love Mariah Carey, and why would she lie? And then another encounter they had after she was divorced and left her husband, Tommy Tola, she wrote another song for Derek Jeter called My All. So Derek Jeter now is this famous rich baseball player. 50 years later, the Tittlemans are not able to pay for this house. The house is unkept, grass is growing all over, basically a disaster, right? And Derek Jeter somehow, I guess his family members convinced him to go and buy this house. And because it was where his grandfather was raised and Derek himself used to go there occasionally on summers, he said, okay, why not? I guess I could buy it. And he paid $425,000 for this house, but it's a total disaster. He has to spend millions of dollars to restore it. And boy, what a job that he did. It's beautifully restored. You can see from all the pictures, it's breathtaking. Now, of course, it's a little bit dated, right? 2024. So it's very specific as well. So in 2022, Derek Jeter decides that he wants to sell this house and he puts it on the market for $14.5 million. And nobody buys it because it's just nobody's looking for a castle in Greenwood Lake, New York. It looks like a castle, and there are not many women or people who want to live in the house that Cinderella lives in or lived in. So he can't sell it. And it becomes a big story in New York. Like, if you look online, you're going to see tons and tons of articles about how this castle goes on auction and how he's acquired this castle. And there's just so much news and publicity about him and this castle. So he puts it for auction and it doesn't sell. And then he decides, okay, you know what? I'm going to reduce the price. He reduced the price to maybe say $9 million, and it still doesn't sell. But now, there's the pandemic, there's all sorts of things happening, and nobody's really looking to invest, I guess, $12 million, $9 million in New York. People are leaving New York, going to Florida and going, everywhere else but New York. So it's a really bad market. And that's another thing that impacts a sale. A house is not going to sell if the market is really bad and you're not going to get the money that you put into it. So you have to be careful when you take on projects and spend a lot of money on a house. You have to have the time and the patience to wait for the market and wait for the right buyer to sell it. So he puts it on auction, he reduces the price and nothing. And then finally, they relist it for $6.3 million and it gets a sale and he sells it. So what's the moral of this story? Do you buy a house because it has sentimental value and you spend millions of dollars to restore it and never live in it for one day, but it's really for your mom or your family? Well, you do if you're Derek Jeter and you make millions of dollars and you can wait and hold on to your money and hold on until you can get the buyer. But even if you're Derek Jeter and you wait and you give it time, you realize that the market is only going to pay what the market is going to pay. And so the market was only willing to pay $6.3 million for a castle. So I want to hear from you. Would you spend $6.3 million on this house? Would I spend $6.3 million on this house if I had $6.3 million on a castle? I would only spend $6.3 million on a castle if I was using that castle as a wedding venue. So that all the women who want to feel like Cinderella on their wedding day or Princess Kate on their wedding day would rent out this venue and we would have an amazing wedding with beautiful pictures right on the lake, totally picturesque. Let me tell you the details of this house. First of all, it has 3 parcels that make up the estate, and that includes the main house with an elevator, guest house, pool house, infinity pool, extensive gardens, a lagoon. Can you imagine a lagoon? A boathouse, and so much more. 4 indoor kitchens with top-of-the-line appliances, but you can see from the pictures that it's a little bit dated. And so now, 2024, it's out of date. 4 indoor kitchens with their top-of-the-line appliances, plus an outdoor kitchen with wood-burning fireplace. Extensive lake views, which, yes, it has turrets, those like castle-like things, pool house, patio space, game room, great room. In the main house, there's just so much to describe. You need to see it for yourself, absolutely. And it's on a lake. The lake is between New York and New Jersey. It's only 50 minutes from Manhattan. I think it's a perfect destination wedding. So let me know your thoughts. If you had would you have bought this house for $14 million? And, do you sympathize with Derek Jeter, who is like trying to do good for his family, make his mom happy maybe, bought this house, spent all this money, and then in the end, he didn't really make much of a profit? I want to know. Let me know your thoughts. Because sometimes, and I know I said that, if you're looking for an investment, you have to take out emotions from real estate. And it's really hard because a lot of people raise their families in homes, and so it becomes part of their lives. But it's just a material thing, right? You can go on, you sell that house, you make money, and you buy something else that is more suited for your life, right? Because obviously a castle with 13 bathrooms, 6 baths is very specific for certain families. 4 kitchens and all of that space is very, very specific. It's not for everyone. Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Okay, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Tell me what other topics you want to hear. We discuss here on this channel real estate, self-care, empowerment, how to make money, crafts, technology, just whatever I feel can empower you to be the best you can be. All right, thank you, and subscribe to the channel. Bye.